Come on.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 15. And the king spake to the Hebrew midwives, of the which name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other was Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women,
come on,
and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it
be a what?
If it be a son, then ye shall kill him.
If it be a son, kill him. Why? Because the nation comes through the seed, is through the man. This is how you depopulate a race of people. If an Israelite woman sleeps with another race, she's bringing forth the seed of that race. See? Kill the boys. Because the seed of promise will come through them. And guess what? They were absolutely right. Moses came through them, through these women. Now, the Planned Parenthood was set up. Whole nother deal. So what we're reading is the prototype, the blueprint for eugenics and Planned Parenthood. So when you see that pyramid on your dollar bill, the New World Order accomplished, you have to think now, who is modern day Pharaoh and who are those that were made to serve with rigor? Who are they conspiring against while we're working our behinds off trying to put food on our tables? Think about it. They could have used any symbolism on earth in the Western world, especially in America, to represent what America is about. And they use what? The Egyptian pyramid to let us know it's the same system in place against the same people. Now, I just wanted to put that out there so that we can chronologize this. Eventually, the Most High sent a savior by the name of Moses. Okay? Now, we all know the story. Moses eventually raised in the Egyptian house. Now, that tells you something in itself, because he must have been at least the same hue as the Egyptians. But most people would like to stick there and say, well, he was a black man. Okay, and we should more so magnify the politics of Egypt and the religions that were oppressing our people in Egypt than who was black, because before this, all the people in Egypt were black. We were black people living amongst other black people, to show you it's deeper than just race.
Exactly.
So we need to more so look at the politics of Egypt. Okay? If we ought to preserve ourselves alive. It's the politics of Egypt that's a threat to us. It doesn't matter what man and what color man is in control of that politics. Right? Now, but just to bring clarity, when Moses is spoken of, and it's in our modern day context, Moses is spoke of as being a white man, and only time black people come in is someone mentions his Ethiopian wife. Okay, which is backward in itself. They'll say, yeah, there was black people. Moses married a Cushite. That's the only time they would like to bring, I'm speaking of the others, would like to bring color in relating us to Cushites or Hamites. When really, yeah, the Bible tells us the color of the Shemites. And just to give you that color real quick, right? I'm going to give you an example in Exodus 3, where the Most High reveals himself to Moses. And I'm going to give you an example of Moses' sister who was living in Egypt, Miriam, who the Most High smit with a curse for disobeying or going against Moses in the wilderness. So that we can at least give a correct biblical depiction or description of how the Israelites looked in Egypt, using Moses and his sister Miriam, who were born Egyptian citizens, as the examples. Okay? So let's use Moses first.
Mm-hmm. And also, can I get the Bible dictionary?
Yes. And you want to get the ham?
No, sir.
No, yeah. You know what yeah.
Yep.
Whatever you're ready, just bring whatever you want, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Exodus chapter 4, verse number 16.
Exodus 4 and 16.
It says, and he shall be, in fact, let me jump down here.
Yes.
Exodus 4 and 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom.
So Moses feared facing Pharaoh without any certainty that he would live through it. He needed some certainty that him going to Pharaoh to speak to Pharaoh about letting God's people go wouldn't lead to wouldn't mean a death sentence. He was fearful. He understood the power of Pharaoh. So the Lord says, listen, I'm going to show you I'm with you. It's going to be through divine power I free my people. He says, put your hand into your vesture, Moses. And Moses put his hand into his vesture like this. Right? Read, in his cloak. Read.
And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
Leprous as snow. So Moses looked at his hand, and the miracle here that we see that wasn't in the 10 Commandments with Charleston Heston is that this man's hand turns white as a miracle shown before the Almighty. Now, obviously, he could not have been a white man. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If the Most High is showing him his power by turning him a different color. Not just his whole body, just his hand looked leprous, like when a perfect example of leprosy, an example of leprosy in the Bible is when you see a person who grows up, and usually it's through vaccine damage today, where they start off dark or brown skin, then they start getting white spots, and the white begin to spot up through their body till they turn white. Well, that's a form of leprosy according to the Bible. A matter of fact, it goes into that leprosy in the book of Leviticus.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible tells us about it's a curse. So here it is. Those spots, I'm just giving you all some detail because a lot of you don't even know, because they don't teach this in the Christian churches, that's actually a form of leprosy that the Most High told us about, that told Moses about, to say, listen, these are the things you need to do to help someone overcome that curse. There's a curse there. And the priest must pray over that person until their hue comes in. Now, if they turn completely white, they're what the Bible, the Old Testament, deems a clean leper. Right? See, they didn't teach us this in the Christian church, but it was in the Bible the whole time, folks. Okay? So Moses put his hand in his vesture and he looked, and it was white. It was white. But then the Most High said, just calm down. Read, Lawya, excuse me.
Verse 7. And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again.
Put thy hand back into thy bosom, Moses.
And he put his hand into his bosom again. And he plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
It was turned again as his other flesh. So when you hear people talking about Moses married an Ethiopian woman, understand that's a diversion. To try to give what they would deem the ignorant of our people some level of relevance saying, well, yeah, the Bible do speak about black people, you Hamites. To make you take pride in being a Hamite. It's a diversion. Let's go to Miriam real quick.
Numbers chapter 12, verse number 5. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth, and he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and I will speak unto him in a dream.
Now, this is Moses' sister. They were both born in Egypt. Shemites, living in an Hamitic land. Moses from the seed of Shem. Miriam, his sister, from the seed of Aaron. Both from this, from the seeds of Israel, Levi. Both from the seeds of Shem. Aaron, Moses' brother, seed of Shem. These are dark people living in a dark land. Before Moses went and met the Egyptian woman, the Ethiopian woman, and married her after expulsion, after running away from the Egyptians. He slayed an Egyptian doing what? Saving his own brother. He had to flee Egypt for a time. That's when he met the Ethiopian. But he was born in Egypt. So don't come to me with some, oh yeah, you want to be recognized? Oh yeah, there's black people in the Bible. Yeah. When Moses left Egypt and came back 40 years later, out there in the wilderness, he found some black Cushite. That's y'all. Are you kidding me? They think we're dumb, brothers and sisters. Don't fall for it. Miriam, Moses' sister, go.
Verse 7. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him I will speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches, and in a similitude of the Lord shall he behold.
Come on.
Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
He told Miriam, were you not afraid to speak against Moses? Read.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them.
Come on.
And he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous.
She became leprous.
White as snow.
If Miriam, Moses' sister, became leprous, white as snow, that means a clean leper from head to toe, what color must she have been before that? What color must she have been? If a curse for speaking against Moses, she was turned according to the Bible, and they have this same chapter and verse in the Torah that's read in synagogues. Read.
And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow.
Leprous, white as snow. And I'm glad someone mentioned that, because they put in the comment, well, they said that she was olive green, or he was olive green. See, I'm glad I was able to travel the world. Okay, you can only teach that to an insulated people who think that there's some other colored people somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I've yet to see an olive green person, and I've been I've been in Greece, Greek islands, I've been all over the world, the Middle East, I've been everywhere. And yet have I seen that little green olive Martian they're talking about. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist. There's no olive people.
Mm-hmm.
And if unless we want to talk about, hey, I just had a Greek salad not too long ago. It had black olives in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to show you that it's deeper than just the color here. Read.
Verse number 11. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
Now, he said, don't put that curse on me. That's what Aaron said. So Aaron must have been what? a man of color. Right? Now, eventually, Moses, right? Eventually, brothers and sisters, Moses would give the law to these people. He would lead them out of Egypt. Y'all know the story, the parting of the Red Sea and walk over into dry shod. Boom, everything is fine. Even though they're trying to lie and claim there's no historical proof that Israelites ever lived in Egypt, which is a total lie. And you can totally refute that. There's this documentary out there that really put it to rest called The Pattern of Evidence. Y'all need to get that documentary because it lets you know that they're purposely distorting history so that we don't tie 2 and 2 together. Okay. Totally the archaeology proves that we were there in Egypt. It's there. But that's a whole nother thing. I'm going to have a get together at our church in which we're going to look at the pattern of evidence and the one they have on the alphabet also. We're going to get together and have that discussion in Philadelphia and talk about how if they have all this history together, how is it with this research they're not putting out? There's no way this guy, and we interviewed him on our radio station. There's no way you can be in Egypt anywhere researching a documentary on the pattern of evidence of Egypt, proving that the Israelites were there and not know that those people were us. Impossible. I was in Egypt. There's archaeology looking like us all over the place. Everywhere. Even the Egyptians and the Arabs say, you Beni Yukul. Beni Yukul, sons of Jacob. They called us sons of Jacob right out. They found out we was from America, and the Arabs over there were calling us Beni Yukul, sons of Jacob. He said, then they do like this. We brother, Isaac, Ishmael. Right? But I digress. Go on. Let's go straight to Moses now. I said I'm going to chronologize this. They took the black Jews away. The question is, who are these Jews they're talking about? And who are they, according to the Bible? Right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 7 and 6, Deuteronomy 10 and 15, and Psalms 137, 19 and 20.
I wanted to read one definition from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
Okay, great.
Okay. It's the last point on color. It says ruddy. A word used to refer to a red or fair complexion in contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews.
In contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews.
I remember that
and that's the Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
You remember that redneck pastor we interviewed? He refused to go in and read that definition.
Oh yeah, there was a guy that came on that we interviewed who was trying to claim that David was ruddy and trying to say that means all of the Jews and Israelites must have looked like David. Why do you think it's making a distinction of David being ruddy?
Exactly.
Not because all of Judah was dark. It's because
light.
Exactly, he was lighter than the normal hue of Judah. He was light skinned. So that's why they called him ruddy or fair, folks. But when I tried to get him to read the definition that he knew exists, it was right in his face. And the guy on our program, a right-wing white Christian, refused to read the definition. He seen it there, but refused to read it. Because ruddy doesn't mean that all of the Israelites or Jews were white. Ruddy is just a distinction, singling out one who looks different than all the rest of Judah. Right?
Are you seeking to strengthen your biblical foundation? Join us in the Hebrew Bible Academy, where we offer 12 weeks of in-depth learning in a structured environment. Receive real-time news from Brother Shapat and amazing lessons by Elder Rawchaa. Learn ancient Hebrew with Elder Lawya. With 12 amazing lessons, you're guaranteed to learn more about your true biblical history and authentic Hebrew language than you would in a traditional Christian church. For only a one-time payment of $150 or 3 monthly payments of $50. Join us at historytimes.org and sign up today. It's not too late. See you in the academy.